acceder a tener este acceso a interpretación. And so at this moment, I want to share with our families that need to receive this information in Spanish. I am going to show them steps to do that. One second. Para las familias que necesitan traducción y recibir esta información en español, si miran la pantalla, miran hacia arriba, para escuchar la interpretación a español, en este cuadrito rojo arriba, usted va a ver un globo. Si mira hacia abajo de su pantalla, va a mirar este globo. Por favor, presione este globo y entonces va a seleccionar el idioma en español. ¿Ok? Para entonces entrar y recibir la información toda en español. Y yo entonces un ratito le voy a recordar sobre esto. Gracias. So thank you again. My name is Janet Pichardo. I'm the Director of Family and Community Engagement. Again, thank you for attending our virtual school choice fair. And also thank you for the principals that are on the call at this moment and our families and students. We're going to get started first by showing you our video. We have a video on the School Choice Fair website. And so we're going to get started with listening to a message from our superintendent, Superintendent Harrison. Janae?
Hello everyone, Harrison Peters, Superintendent of Providence Public Schools, and Happy New Year. Family and student involvement in education is so important. You have a choice, and we're glad that you have chosen Providence Public Schools. Now is the time of year to select your school for the rising 6th and 9th graders. We have a number of options for our students that will prepare them for college or career. We have small schools, large schools, career and technical focused programs, fine arts, advanced placement courses, and so much more available for you. But the most important factor to consider is the individual student. Students, you have the unique opportunity to decide where you'll spend the next 3 or 4 years and the kinds of awesome things you'll be learning. Really think about what you're interested in and where you'd like to go professionally. Parents, you have the chance to guide your rising 6th or 9th graders in such an important decision. The School Choice Fair is your opportunity to ask questions that will help you all make the best decisions possible. This year looks a little different in the virtual space, but we're committed to answering every question and serving every family to the best of our ability. Thank you for joining us on this journey to help Providence students reach their full potential.
Okay, thank you. Okay, again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Again, I'm going to actually start off by sharing additional norms and features on the Zoom. We want to make sure that our families and students can follow through the presentation. So please bear with us. So again, to access interpretation, our families are being asked to select the globe at the very bottom. And at that point, they can select Spanish. That is the language that we have available today. We have Delia Rodriguez Maswan, who is serving as interpreter for us today. Also, if you are joining the meeting from a phone or a tablet, you may have to select More to access the language interpretation function. Okay. Write your question in the Q&A. The panelists will respond live, or a response will be provided in your question and answer box. So again, we're asking all families and students to please use the Q&A at the very bottom of your screen. You'll see Q&A, and you can go ahead and write in a question. Also, if you would like to ask your question out loud, please select the raise hand button, that icon, and we will also call on you, and we will ask you to unmute yourself to be able to ask your question. So the feature, again, for the chat feature is disabled in case it just appears at the very bottom of your screen. It is not, we're not using the chat for this call. Okay. And so for the time being, what we're going to do is we're going to get started. Again, I just want to remind our families who are on the call in Spanish, and I'll mention it again in Spanish in case any have come in after I have mentioned the norm a few minutes ago. Para las familias que han llegado ahora mismo, si necesitan traducción al español, miren hacia abajo de su pantalla donde está el globo que dice interpretación. Cuando seleccionan ahí, le van a dar la opción del idioma en español. Selecciona español y de una vez va a poder escuchar la señora Delia Rodríguez Mazzuán, que está hacia abajo de la pantalla ahora mismo, y ella entonces va a servir como su intérprete. Gracias. Okay, so we're going to get started. Again, for our panelists, thank you so much for joining us today. What I'm going to do is actually ask you to please introduce yourself by stating your name and also your school. I know for some of you on your screen, actually you all did, and I really appreciate that. We have our panelists that have identified themselves in terms of the schools that they represent, but we want you to go ahead and give you an opportunity to state your name and again, the school that you represent. If we can start off with LaShawn. Thank you.
Hi, my name is LaShawn O'Connor. I am the school culture coordinator at Central High School. Hello, families.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Bautista?
Hi, I'm Ms. Bautista. I am here an assistant principal at Mount Pleasant High School. Soy la señorita Bautista, asistente principal de la escuela Mount Pleasant.
Hi, I need another student for dismissal.
Okay, Mr. Redmond.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Redmond, principal at E-Cubed Academy. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. And Mr. Rametti?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rob Rametti. I'm the principal at Juanita Sanchez High School. Good to see you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to remind our panelists that, again, we do have our interpreter, Delia Rodriguez Mazzuán. She might pop out and remind you that she's behind her picture so that if you can, as you respond to questions, if you can just remember that she is translating everything that you're saying, you won't be able to hear her. And so just, she'll probably actually just remind you, like, go like this. She'll just tell you to slow down if you could. All right, so just try to remember that. And we just want to make sure that our families understand and receive all the same information. Okay, also our panelists, you might see on your screen the Q&A. Please don't worry about the Q&A. I'm going to be going through the questions, so then that way you're just concentrating on being able to be prepared when the questions do come up. And so there might be some questions that you'll see that are directed to you specifically as a school, but some may be posed just in general. So I'll ask all of you to just respond to the questions, okay? All right, so families, please get started and just make sure that you can write your question in the Q&A. Please begin to do that. And also, if you are interested in asking your question out loud, make sure that you use the raise hand function at the very bottom of your screen, and we will call on you to be able to ask your question out loud. Okay, so we do have one question right now. We don't have all our schools here, but we do have a question that said, Ms. Phillips is asking if PCTA is here. And I see that our PCTA is not represented right now. And so hopefully they'll be joining us soon. If not, I encourage you that if the school that you were looking to ask a question to is not on the call, to please direct your call directly to the school itself. I'm sure that everyone did receive their profile. But also, if you have any questions, you can also call the Let's Talk tool that we have now in the district that you can find on the website, our school website, Providence Schools website, as well as each individual school's website, or again, you can call the school directly. So again, there isn't anyone here right now from the PCTA school. So I guess I'll get started with a question, even while we wait for folks to think about the questions. So if we can have all of you, please share with us, just share with families and maybe students that are on the call right now, what would be, the way in which you welcome our new freshmen at your school. So if you can just kind of give them an idea of what to expect as a freshman in terms of just even, the welcoming of being enrolled at your particular school, and then what happens as a freshman, let's say. So anyone can jump first. I won't go through any order.
I'll go from Central High School. Again, so prior to the pandemic, what we do is we have a freshman orientation. So probably about 2 weeks prior to the start of the school year, we have a freshman orientation. It's usually like a block party setting. We do it in our parking lot. We have music, we have prizes, and we have stations set up throughout the parking lot that help the student to get familiar with what we offer, the credits, the schedule, meet some of the administrators, some of the programs that we offer. They get to meet with guidance, they get to get their schedule. And then most importantly, we do a whole school tour. The whole entire freshman orientation is hosted by our students. Our senior mentors who also get assigned to you guys. So as an incoming ninth grader, you would get assigned a senior mentor who will help, who will help.
What is that for those of you that don't know? Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Janet?
What was that sound for those families that are wondering, what is that?
That was the bell. Sorry, guys. We're
Okay.
transitioning. So as I was saying, the ninth graders would then get assigned a senior mentor that they'll meet during freshman orientation. That senior mentor will be their guide for the whole freshman orientation. And it just gets them familiar and comfortable with, the upperclassmen in the building. So when you guys start in September, you kind of can start and see familiar faces. You'll know who your senior mentor is, and you can ask them questions throughout the whole entire year, and they'll help guide you and get you settled in and be more comfortable.
Great. Thank you so much, Lashana.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
So here at Mount Pleasant High School, for the past 2 years, we have provided opportunities for freshman students to join us during the summertime. In collaboration with Rhode Island College, we have had partnership programs where students have been able to receive instruction by some of their own teachers that they will be having during the actual school year. They have actually had also the opportunity to receive stipends for being part of the program. But it's just a way to help students get a little taste of some of the academic and social experiences that they will have during the school year. It's not mandatory, but we do recommend that if you can take advantage of that opportunity, you do so. We haven't started planning for it yet this year, but something that you can look forward to. As well as Central and many of the other schools, we do have freshman orientation before school begins. And again, yes, we also have students who lead in some of those endeavors. And so we're here to support you. We give you a tour of the school. You also have a freshman academy where you're going to have a cohort of teachers that are going to work with you for that first year. And then it's kind of like a family, a little network. And then these people are going to get to know you. They will get to create relationships with your teachers for the following years. And so we're trying to make sure that you are on track as a freshman. And so all of your teachers get to know you very well, not just academically, but socially and emotionally. And we do things, we have meetings and PLCs where you are the focus and your success is the focus for our teachers. And so you will be able to experience that once you get here. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Redmond or Remedi?
Thanks so much. We actually are really excited about the new programming that we are offering at eCubed. We are officially, for the class of 2025, going to be a P-Tech school with a focus in CTE.
Mm.
What that means for our incoming freshmen is that they'll be a part of an exciting program where students are able to explore the different career opportunities dealing specifically with computers. We too have a freshman academy where you all are slightly separate from the other schools with your own wing of the building. EQ Academy is a small, very family-oriented school with a maximum capacity of 450 students. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more intimate, then this is definitely the school for you. With the transition, we are also now an application school. So if anybody is interested in enrolling their student in this school, I'll be more than happy to provide them with the link to the application as well as my email for any further questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Rometty?
Hello. Similar to E-Cubed, Juanita Sanchez is also moving to an application-based system for next year. And we're really excited that all freshmen who enroll will be selecting one of our 3 pathways. So at JSEC, we have a teacher academy for those students who want to learn how to work with students, work with children, work in a school after high school. We also have a biomedical pathway for those who are interested in the sciences and working in a healthcare setting. And third, we have a computer science pathway for those students who want to gain a general understanding of coding and web design, for those of you who are interested in tech and going into the tech field after high school. And we're really excited that these are going to start in 9th grade. So right away, when you arrive at school, you'll kind of be part of your pathway family, your pathway community. In addition, similar to the other schools, we will also be holding an orientation before school begins. And then we also like to make the first week or so of school special with some fun activities and ways where you're just kind of getting to know the culture of the school, you're getting to know each other, getting to know the expectations we have before we sort of jump into the academic rigors of the year. So if you are interested in JSEC, I can also send you a link to the application that you would fill out. It's very brief. And I can also share my email address as well.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so again, reminding parents and families, students, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A button at the very bottom of your screen. Please write in your question. And we'll make sure to, again, to articulate the question on your behalf. So again, not seeing any questions yet. Right now, again, I'm going to go ahead and ask all of you a question. At this moment, if you could just share also what are the different programs specifically for extracurricular programs and sports-related programs such as that for our students, if you can give them kind of an idea of what to expect when they come in, and perhaps when is it exactly that it happens in terms of recruitment? How does recruitment look like? So just again, just to give them an idea, and also parents. Okay, anyone who wants to start?
So, hi guys, it's Ms. O'Connor again from Central. So as far as our sports, we offer girls soccer, basketball, volleyball, tennis, softball, cross country, indoor and outdoor track, cheerleading, boys football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, cross country again, indoor and outdoor track, tennis, and wrestling. We have in soccer, I said that. I'm joined also with students. So if you guys have questions that you want the students to answer, I do have several students with me. To move on, we have a partnership with New Urban Arts. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, it's an outside community agency that comes into the school and they offer all types of after school programming. Some of the programs in the past were like Cooking with Class. They offer Poetry Out Loud. We also have like a great student body government centered like student leadership program. just tons of just different activities that you can get involved in that's student based on your interests. What the New Urban Arts Office does is at the beginning of the year, they kind of take like a survey from you guys, and you guys will basically tell the New Urban Arts Director what you're interested in. And then that survey will go out to the teachers, and the teachers can then choose to take on a class and offer that to you after school. So it's all student-based interest activities for after school for, like, again, your interests that you want to participate in here at Central.
Thank you so much, LaShawn. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So here at Mount Pleasant, we also offer multiple sports, basketball, football for girls and for boys, basketball. We have football, wrestling, tennis. We also offer track and field, cross country. We had the fastest runner in the state last year, and this year we also have one of our students already break the record. He's also fastest. So we're very proud of them. We have math clubs. We have, through the engineering academy, we have robotics club. We have volleyball. We just have so many sports. We also have esports, which the students love. So we try to, and we have tutoring also. So it's not just the athletics. We also have tutoring here for each of the subjects. We also allow students sometimes to give us their suggestion for clubs. So if they do have a club, we do have, so we, at the moment, we do have a Spanish and French club that students requested. And so we're open for opportunities for clubs based on student interest. Chess club too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we continue, I just want to welcome Mr. Simmons. Thank you so much for joining us from Hope High School. I just wanted to give you the heads up, Mr. Simmons, that we have an interpreter. Her name is Delia Rodriguez Maswan. So she's interpreting. So as I ask questions, just bear with us and remember that she's on there trying to translate everything that you're saying. So try to slow down a little bit so that way she can capture everything, okay? And again, you'll probably see at the very bottom Q&A. You don't need to worry about the Q&A. I'm going through the questions for all of you. So that way, all you have to do is just concentrate on responding to questions when it's your turn, okay?
Great. I'll do my best to speak in smaller sentences and pay.
Yes. Very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so the question, just so that you know, Mr. Simmons, what folks are answering right now is the question of what might be some programs and clubs for entering freshmen, just so that they have an idea of what's being offered at the school level. Again, and perhaps what's that process of recruitment and when does it happen, so they have an idea. Okay, so anyone right now, I believe we're waiting for either Mr. Redmond, Mr. Remedi, or yourself, Mr. Simmons.
Yeah, so well, I'll just keep it in the same order. So I'm actually excited that Hope is on, because Hope is our sister school at E-Cubed. Again, we are a smaller learning community, but our students have access to sports through collaboration with Hope High School. So currently there's a few less offerings with COVID, but traditionally we offer all of the same sports that the other high schools have spoke about: soccer, boys and girls tennis, boys and girls soccer, boys and girls basketball, boys and girls track and field, softball, baseball, football. As far as clubs are concerned, we offer art programming, music after school. We have chess club, we have graphic design groups, we have reading clubs. We also have Spanish clubs and culinary clubs. So just to name a few, but anything that students are interested in joining, as long as there's a sponsor that is here, we are more than welcome to facilitate a space where kids can be engaged after school.
Okay, thank you.
So at JSAC, we too have several sports and extracurriculars. Sports, football, basketball, track, volleyball, cross country. We also have a lot of extracurriculars. We have the benefit of partnering with PASA, which is an after-school program, and they are based right out of our school and host usually 8 to 10 different clubs or sort of activities each season after school that students can sign up for completely free. So some of their offerings change all the time. Right now, there are activities like Fashion Club, or there's like a men's group. There are activities that also are inspired by student interest. So, such like a gaming club. It really depends on student interest as well, because PASA then helps recruit sponsors or adults who are interested in making those activities come to life. In fact, this semester, PASA is even able to kind of sponsor student participation and encourage it by offering students stipends for attending after school club meetings if they attend 90% of the time over the course of a season or a cycle. So lots of exciting opportunities, and part of it is student driven, so it does change regularly. And so we'd welcome your ideas when you get here in the fall to see what you would like us to offer.
Thank you so much. Mr. Simmons.
All right. So as Mr. Redmond was saying, so with eCubed, we are co-opt. And so Hope High School is kind of the hub for sports and athletics that will pull in for eCubed as well. So we do have, and I'll just rattle off like everybody else. We have boys and girls tennis, we have basketball, we have football, we have wrestling, we have indoor and outdoor track, we have softball, we have baseball. I think that's it. Pretty sure I think that I covered the gamut for that. Being a larger school, we have a lot to offer. We also have CTE programs. With our CTE programs and career technical pathways, we have multimedia and digital arts. Currently, we have also the JROTC. So if you'd like to go into any forms of the military or something you're thinking of, it's a great thing to add to your resume and transcript. Currently, we also have a music and arts program, CTE pathway, which is still developed. To a lot of the programs and clubs, we're also connected with PASA in a similar way through H2O. And so H2O is a program through PASA that stems to a lot of different clubs. And again, also stems through what students are mostly interested in. Pre-COVID, we had a culinary club, we had a photography club, we had a dance club. We also have student government, but a lot of these things have kind of changed with COVID. So we're kind of trying to limit those exposures. But once we go back to our standard norms, there will be a lot of additions to that. And a lot of it comes to being student focused. So if you come to Hope High School and there's something that you want to do, Mr. Buchanan and all the programs and pretty much anybody is up to help you out with that.
Okay, thank you. I think that this is a question from a student, and it's related to your response a few minutes ago. So if you can just share, when you're doing an application, when you complete an application for any of these programs, how do you find out if you got in? So you just want to, like, what does that notification look like, or what?
Yeah. So Brett Dickens, who heads CTE for the district, but particularly for my school as the new P-Tech pathway school, you will get an email. You will also get a postcard, and we'll have there will be a welcome celebration virtual event that will take place. I believe that they have begun to send those out, some of those notifications out, and it will continue to go through February. So by the end of February, I believe is the deadline for letting everyone know if they have applied and if they have been admitted and have a seat in the particular pathway. But we're really excited about how this virtual space is being utilized to still recognize these monumental steps that our students are experiencing despite COVID.
Thank you. Anyone else that could share perhaps if it's different at your school in terms of notification when a student gets accepted in any of your programs?
Have them pick this. So we don't have the application process that the other schools have. They still do. But we do, I mean, yes, through the regular application, but not the one that EQ and JSEC have. However, we do also offer the Engineering Academy and the Teacher Academy here at Mount Pleasant. Once the schools inform us that the child is coming here, then we offer them the CTE, the music pathways, computer information systems, Teacher Academy, and pre-engineering. So we offer those once we know that the students are enrolling here.
Okay, great. Anyone else? If not, we can go on to the next question. Okay. So for families or for students that perhaps may have an IEP or special needs, if you can just share with us, what would be their typical day? What does it look like in terms of supports for our families that have students with IEPs or that are special needs? If you can just, again, we don't have to go in any particular order, but whoever might want to be able to share that first.
So Hope High School has a very, sorry. Hope High School has a very large population of students with IEPs, 504s, and or shelter. With our programs and teachers, the good supports for our IEP students and 504 students is you have what's called an inclusion teacher for the most part. And that inclusion teacher is a secondary teacher within the classroom to help support you on wherever your gaps or your struggles might be within that subject. So for instance, if you struggle with graphic organizers and organizing your thoughts for writing, that secondary teacher within the classroom can give you a longer support one-on-one that one teacher to 26 students may not be able to give. So that inclusion teacher is that extra support system to bump you and strengthen your skills to get to where you need to be for supports.
Heidi, did you want, go ahead.
Sure. So here we have the RTI process where all of the students receive all of the supports during their regular classes. However, we follow the least restrictive environment for each student. So based on their needs, we have inclusion, which is for students who don't really need as much help, like Mr. Sims was mentioning. So they have an inclusion teacher that may accompany them to the classes that the students request to provide those services. We also have a hybrid program, which they have self-contained for reading, English, and for math, and math intervention. And then we have the Birch Academy, which houses a lot of mild, moderate students. So we do try to provide supports for all students throughout each of our classes. And most of our classes are 50% either MLL or students with special needs. Therefore, all of the teachers are required to modify and enrich for all students in the building.
Mr. Rometty?
Sure. At Juanita Sanchez, we also have supports built in for students needing that support. We have an inclusion program as well, which means that students who are on IEPs who need a little bit of support would have the benefit of a second teacher in the classroom in math and English, pushing in with them to help them with the content that they're learning. And of course, with that model comes IEP meetings and really the family having the inclusion teacher as a point person to really check in with throughout the year to make sure that the student is making good progress and that if for any reason they're struggling, that we put an extra plan in place to help them out. We also have what they call an ECS program, and that's our Exceptional Children's Services program. And those students are supported by not only teachers, but also childcare workers and teaching assistants. There are several additional adults in the classroom there and ready to support them in learning functional academics and sort of transition skills so that they can be successful and in some cases independent in life after high school.
We'll go next at Central High School.
Want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm David DeTora. I'm the MLL teacher leader here at Central High School. Here at Central, we have a very large percentage of our students are multilingual learners. We have over 300 of our students are MLLs. We have various supports that we offer these students in the classroom. All of our students take an English class with a teacher who's both English and ESL certified. They also take a separate class of English language development based on level. Should I talk about the special ed? Okay, so we also allow the special ed we have special ed inclusion in our in these ESL classrooms as well. So students who need extra support for special ed as well as ESL services, they can get that in their classes as well. Yep. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Redmond, thank you.
Very similar to all of the other schools, eCubed Academy operates in a very similar fashion with inclusion teachers in classrooms that support special ed students. Students that are labeled special ed, let me get my language correct. Also very consistent with PPSD's demographic, about 34% of our students also are labeled as multi-language learners. And we also have a full cadre of staff that support language acquisition, push into classrooms to support, as well as deliver sheltered instruction. We also, through unique scheduling, offer things very similar to what Mr. Remedi talked about at JSEC to support students with executive functioning, transition, and career success. We have classes dedicated to personalized learning time, as well as our student success learning labs. And we also partner specifically with an organization to provide students with the opportunity to gain a certification in a career pathway that they're able to graduate and immediately transition into the workforce, where they can earn starting salaries between $30,000 and $40,000. We really believe in providing access for all of our students with access to the middle class.
Okay. Thank you. I did want to just ask, Mr. Remedi, Ms. Bautista, and Mr. Simmons, if you wanted to add any other comments with regard to our English language learners and how you support English language learners.
The school district has an initiative where all of our teachers receive that DOJ training. Most of the teachers that are being evaluated, in addition to that, we have an MLL teacher leader here and a dean of instruction who also work with teachers to provide that access for all students to have access to curriculum. And so we have ongoing PLCs around how to support our MLLs. A lot of our teachers are currently in school so that they could receive dual certification to support our students academically. We also have staff here in guidance, in administration, and of course teachers and other staff who speak multiple languages here in the building. We also have a new clinic here where the staff also speak multiple languages in there. So we're trying to support students in all of those ways. If there's some of our students who speak Quiche, we're trying to see with Rhode Island College a way to support our understanding of the language, or just even providing support for that population of students or parents who have students here. So whatever we can do to get our hands into it, we try to provide the support. Our messages to parents and families are also in all languages that we can. Every message, every letter, every video, we try to do it in dual language so that everyone can have access to the communication.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I think Mr. Remedi, were you?
Sure, I can add that similar to what other schools have mentioned, about half of our students are considered multilingual learners. So we have a lot of staff trained to support them in their language development. We have English language development courses in addition to all of their other classes. We also have after-school classes and programs for students who might need extra support or who need to acquire additional credits. We want to make sure that all of our MLL students are on the same track as everyone else, and we're committed to making sure that every student is successful.
Great, thank you. Mr. Simmons, did you want to add?
Yeah, so similar to all the other schools, Providence as a whole, we're all working extremely hard to make sure everybody's trained into multi-language learning, the MLLs. So much so that even the guidance counselors like myself have also been on the trainings for the Department of Justice and learning more about our multi-language learners through platforms that we call Elevation. So it's really good for us to get a better understanding not only of our students, but also getting a better understanding of how the levels truly work and how students not only have differentiated learning, that we're trying to do different levels for students, but we're also trying to work more on supporting students that may not know any English, as well as those students that are working to leave the program itself and score high enough to move outside of the WIDA access scoring. I don't know if I can add any more that somebody hasn't already said.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do have one question here directed to Central High School for Lashana. If you can answer this question. So mom says, my siblings went, well, actually, this is a former student. My siblings went to Central around 4 years ago. How would you say Central has changed over the years, if at all?
Hi, so we're gonna answer that. I'm gonna let that be answered from a student perspective, because we think here at Central that that's more important, how the students feel. So answer that question.
Hi everyone. My name is Mentor. I am the student class president for the seniors for the school. And to answer that question, basically, I think how things change in Central when it comes to like in that stand. I think it really improved when it came to like community wise. I feel like the school has more structure of a community. Student voice is really a big thing that's advocated here. Like students have a voice, things that you normally see a principal doing at a school or teachers doing, you have students doing that. You even had students doing the announcements last year, but due to COVID, we don't do it no more. But, you know, we have students doing announcements. We have students doing things that, you know, that a teacher will probably do, but because they want to have the students more involved, and we have a voice, and we also have admins who are very, you know, hands-on with the community, the school community, the student voice, you know, students, you know, being out there, being forefront with what's going on, and they just, you know, they're so hands-on with that. So I think it's a really school community.
We focus on really trying to just build community here,
Yes.
just trying to bring everybody together and, you know, make this basically a home away from home.
Wonderful, thank you. And that kind of is a segue to that question in terms of student voice. So if the rest of our schools that are on the call, if you can just again kind of describe how do you encourage student voice at your school, that'll be great because we do have some students on the call. Anyone else?
I think we.
So at Hope High School, oh, sorry.
I think one.
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Mr. Simmons.
I'll be really quick. So here at Hope High School, we do have a student-led government. So they have the opportunity that seniors, such as the gentleman that just spoke for Central, have the opportunity to help structure the school through their voice. As well as Mr. Buchanan, our principal, who's been with us for about 2 years now, really drives home the fact that nothing matters as much as getting the students to advocate for themselves and voice what they would like to hear from our school or what they need from our school. Because when it comes down to it, if we don't have students, school doesn't exist. So it's kind of a good method to run with, that we have a lot of student involvement on what do they feel should change. I mean, our students, that we also have a school store that's run during our lunch periods, that students have actually orchestrated the price of the items that are in there and what items are available. So it's not one of those things that a student that's a 9th grader isn't being heard, but a 12th grader is. I mean, all students are encompassed in anything that they request. And it's taken on as a true valued statement, not just something that, well, they just said this and we're going to move past it. So it also brings back to the community involvement. So student voice is very loud at Hope and very well heard.
Thank you. Mr. Redmond.
Here at eCubed, we also have a student advisory board as well as a student council. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is that students truly are at the center of all of the decisions that we make, including down to recrafting the mission and vision. We actually redid the mission and vision a few years ago that was fully student-led. Part of the mission and vision talks about our students being dynamic change agents. And so every decision that we make at the school level, we make sure that we engage with our students from the classes that they're in, from the teachers that they actually have when their schedules are built out, the times that lunches are offered. We really try to make sure that they know that we are here, very similar to what other people have spoke about, that we're here for them and in service of them. And so we give them as many opportunities as we can to make sure that they know and feel that they are seen and heard.
Can I just hop in for a minute? Outside of student voice as it relates to student organizations and activities, can anyone speak to how you are developing students individually to develop their own voice, to find out the things that they care about, and outside of just advocating for themselves, but developing them personally to develop that voice? And please be mindful that Delia is translating, so please slow down with your answers.
So here at Central, one way that we do that is we have weekly meetings. So we have a leadership committee, which I happen to be the advisor for. And every week we meet small groups each. Obviously, last year it was different because we all was in school, but this year it's different based on like if they're A student or a B student, so the groups are even smaller. But it's just that intimate time that we have. It's after school, and it's just the time that we have to reflect. We have process. We have time to just talk about the week, talk about something that, you know, we don't.
Lashana, if you can just slow down.
I'm sorry, I talk fast. I'm sorry. We use the time, I think you guys, I said this already, to just process. It's just giving them that space to be able to do that space to be able to just reflect on the week and kind of just lay out everything and our opportunity to just, okay, say, so then how can we then move and grow from that? We also have something that's really special here. We have Virtues of a Central Night, and each month it's a different virtue. So for example, this month, our virtue is perseverance. So throughout the entire month, we practice that. We practice how to persevere. I give them examples, and then we allow them to then show us that they're able to then have perseverance. And then at the end of the month, they're rewarded for that. So they're recognized as the month for displaying perseverance. Where teachers are able to write up, you know, how that student displayed perseverance. And then it's like basically like advertised throughout the whole school that this student, you know, made this achievement. So that's the answer.
That's great.
Here Here at ECUBE, moving beyond student voice, we are very explicit in using our summit learning model to have PLT time and advisory time, where each student has a teacher mentor between 10 to 12 kids, and that happens on a daily basis, not once a week. And they are explicitly trained and taught around skills and the habits of success. There's several explicit things and lessons that they're taught. They're also taught self-directed learning model and the power of goal setting and backwards mapping and the piece with the revision. So they're explicitly taught and coached around that particular area, which is like how to put advocacy into practice. And we really start and focus really on the thing that we do at school, which generally is around grades. And then we move beyond that space, right? Thinking about the social justice movements that are happening that impact our students' lives outside of school. But we really center it around that particular specific work around their grades. And then that work that we do expands into other areas. But we have a curriculum that's dedicated explicitly to that.
And just to clarify a little bit, Dr. Redmond, if you could explain to us or just tell us what PLT stands for.
Sorry, we're so used to using acronyms, but PLT stands for Personalized Learning Time. And that provides an opportunity that is beyond the traditional schedule, where students who, as they learn to advocate for themselves and their needs, they say, this particular time, I may not need to go to English because I'm caught up. I need additional support in science. And so they sign up for a particular class time that they need. And the whole school, the whole grade level will sign up on that day for particular class times that they need and particular lessons that they need support on based off of the schedule that is put out for the students. So that is where we're able to see the mentoring happening, and then we're able to see how they put that into practice with the PLT time that happens later on in the week.
Okay, thank you.
We too have something similar here at Mount Pleasant. It's called Pride Time. So Pride is perseverance, respect, integrity, dedication, and excellence. And so we have Pride Time 20 minutes every day during the lunch blocks, where students do similarly. They are taught through questions regarding the same Pride concepts. We ask them to explain their process through their academic journey. If some of them have issues, they do develop goals, or we build them through questions so that they themselves could point out the root causes for what's happening. And then they too develop a plan of what they feel is doable. And so a 20-minute block every day for them to do that. They each meet with a teacher that will guide the process. And then we also have embedded these Zoom meetings where we do credit audits with families and students. And we also set up goals where students and the families can decide, where they need to prioritize and where they need the support. So we do that. And additionally, last year, we had student panel who decided that they would like to lead their own advisories. So we're going to restart that again, student-led advisories, where they themselves have an opportunity to speak to their own classmates on issues that they feel are important to them. So we allow them that space so that they can develop their leadership skills, communication, and it expands them not only academically, but socially, and prepares them for the work in college.
Okay, thank you. I know we're coming to an end. We did start late, so we're ending also a little bit after the scheduled time. But I do have one more question before we end our call. If it's possible that you can share and provide families in terms of engaging families in general, right? At the high school level, we know that sometimes it gets a little difficult to engage our families, and also our students sometimes wanting families to be involved. And so if you can just share how you engage your families at your school, and when you respond to that question, can you please just also add the relationship with guidance counselors and what the importance of students, connecting with their guidance counselors. Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. Once we're done with that question, we will end our call. Thank you. Whoever wants to start first.
I just want to say, parents, that we need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. You're such a big part of this work. And I really commend a lot of the parents who call the school to engage us in, those things that are important to their students. We love to communicate with you. Our doors are open. Our guidance department does an excellent job in that. Without them, I don't know where we would be, but I am really grateful for the families that are so encouraged to continue developing their child. You have a wealth of knowledge that we as a school really need. And so we do reach out by phone, Kimball messages, Skyward messages. So we do those things, but we also go to the homes. We will go find you. And so whatever it takes, we also provide whatever service you may need. We can help you with the resources that are available around the community and within the school community. And so we give parents the opportunity also to engage with us. We have a club here, it's called Casas, and a lot of the parents involved in the community are looking for ways to engage other families. So if you have your own, some parents, I know that in middle schools and elementary, you were very involved. And because your children have grown up, trust me, they still need you. They get happy with things that we feel that only elementary school students were like. A sticker will make some of our kids happy. We thought they were past that, but they're not. And so I think that parent involvement is key and essential in student success, especially community engagement. A lot of you parents can come into the school or even Zoom with us. And, we push that career exploration, through engineering and multiple pathways. But if you are a parent, and you have something to share, we would love for you to contact the school and let us know in what way you would like to volunteer or share your story of success to inspire our students, because you too are an inspiration. Our students let us know, and I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Remedi?
Sure. Similar to what Mount Pleasant said, we obviously try to keep in pretty regular communication through Kinvo, through teachers calling home to give you updates, through a monthly newsletter that I send out. But also next year, we're creating family workshops at all grade levels, starting with 9th grade, to really start working with you on the college and career process, because it really does start as early as 9th grade. And we want all of our families to feel really confident and supported in helping their kids figure out what they're going to do when they get to junior and senior year, as they're preparing to apply to jobs or colleges or trade programs. And so we're really excited about partnering with families and really working with you. Like I said, starting right with the 9th grade orientation, where there's a parent workshop involved there. And then there'll be workshops scattered throughout the 4 years to help you also keep track of your child's progress and make sure that they're on the track for on-time graduation.
Wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Simmons?
I love our families, first and foremost. So as a guidance counselor myself, I beg and plead, if you are a parent, you are a cousin, you are a sister, brother, uncle, aunt, I don't care. Come into my office. Come say hi. Let's talk about what's going on. I email students, email parents, call students, call parents, text students, and also run Zooms. So when it comes to communicating with families, when we say above and beyond, there really isn't much room for growth, because I will try to contact you via pigeon if I can. Any way to contact families is number one, because parent involvement, family involvement is only going to strengthen our community students. And when I talk to students one-on-one, it's surprising to know that they get frustrated with the message I give them, because they're getting the same message at home. So to be a team and to make sure that all of our students are successful, because every student that walks in our school doors, they're one of our kids. As a parent myself, they walk in, I treat them as they're an adult in high school. Whether you're a 9th grader or a 12th grader, you're now an adult, you're now responsible. But listen, I don't care if you're 6 or you're 66, you still need mom, you still need dad, you still need family. And so with that community involvement and really being one, family involvement is above and beyond what guidance counselors and teachers and any staff members need in schools. We want families in. We want you guys knowing what's going on. We also want to be able to just talk to you, just say hi. Sometimes it's nice to talk to adults, especially in this COVID time. We don't really get to see many people that often, especially without a mask on. So I personally love seeing families, love enjoying the interaction. So any new students that come to Hope, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, cousin, brother, sister, everybody, come on in.
O'Connor, Mr. Redmond, Mr. Redmond, go ahead.
Here at EQ, we're super excited about offering our family engagement leadership team that really leads the work around our family engagement efforts. We also believe in home visits. We've completed several of them this year. We also work on academic parent-teacher team conferences, which is beyond the parent-teacher conference. We really focus on including parents in the work of supporting their students, engaging with the parents and the members of the family around what exactly does my kid need to know, and how could I, as all children's first teachers, support them at home? Because sometimes parents feel like, I just don't know how to support. And so we take it a step further and really offer coaching for our families around how they can actually support their students. We also have monthly seminars that are hosted by our family engagement leadership team around different topics, depending on what our family members say that they need support around. Before the launch of FAFSA, we had a conversation around, like, what is FAFSA? What are the things that we need to do to get prepared for that? We also had a conversation, as Mr. Rametti spoke about, like, college starts well before high school. And so engaging families in those kind of conversations so they understand that it's not your senior year when college happens, right? It's the many, many, many years before that when that happens. And so we have specific targeted conversations that we engage families in, but really similar to other schools, we have an open door policy and really encourage our families to be a part of the work that we're doing. Last but not least, we are recipient of the XQRI grant. And so we have several families that are a part of that work, and their roles is helping shape what we do at the school and how we use the money to impact their students.
Okay.
Hi, so I'm talking pre and post COVID, but here at Central, we also have an open door policy. We stay connected with our parents via Kinvolve. We also have an attendance team that does do home visits that take place. We go out to the homes. We leave a card that says we visited you from Central High School if the parent's not home. We just, make sure that the parents know that we service their needs as well. Last year, we had a parent night where we was able to invite the parents in and play just board games. Like, so the parents can come in, they can kind of mix and mingle with the teachers or the admin, have board games, kind of like a down period, not so much business, but more pleasure. And we also offered a parent FAFSA night where the parents could come in and kind of get familiar with the process of FAFSA themselves, for those that really were unfamiliar with it. So again, this is pre and post COVID, where we was able to have these initiatives, but that's pretty much like similar to all the other schools said as well.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I know that we are close to 1:30 and we are going to end because school is still in session and those of you, our leaders, need to get back to work. So thank you so much for all of your time. I know that this year has been a challenging one, right? For a lot of different reasons. For those of you our leaders there, but also for our families and students that are on the call. So again, we appreciate you tremendously. So Good luck for the rest of the year. At this point, I want to make sure that for our families who perhaps still have some questions, because this was only an hour, and I know that there's so much more that the schools can share with you. You are welcome to call our schools for any questions. You are also welcome to visit their school websites. Also the Providence Schools website, which we also have the School Choice Fair website that has other additional information. Also a video that was made on behalf of all of our schools, the different aspects and some interviews there that took place. And also the profiles that you all should have received through a link. And so please make sure that to take some time to view all the information that was shared with you and to submit the choice form on its due date, which is in February. So again, thank you all for joining us today. And so again, it's Friday. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and we will see you soon. Thank you. And thank you to our interpreter, Delia. Thank you so much.